Iran's Islamic Republic regime confronts what may constitute its weakest strategic position in decades amid revolutionary protests and economic collapse. Yet its most formidable regional enemy Israel appears strategically committed to staying deliberately on the sidelines rather than risking direct intervention. After months of increasingly belligerent public threats warning of preemptive strikes against Tehran's nuclear infrastructure, Israel's government has noticeably backed off from hawkish public rhetoric specifically to avoid inadvertently impacting or derailing Iran's volatile internal political dynamics. Amid closed-door security cabinet meetings throughout Jerusalem, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has issued direct orders to all cabinet ministers commanding them to completely avoid any public commentary whatsoever regarding the unfolding crisis inside Iran, according to exclusive reporting from CNN. Israeli national security officials privately worry that any overtly aggressive public rhetoric could provide Tehran's propagandists with invaluable ammunition, letting the clerical regime conveniently blame all foreign enemies for deliberately engineering Iran's catastrophic economic failures and currency collapse. Government officials acutely fear that premature external military intervention would rapidly rally latent nationalist support coalescing around Iran's cornered clerical regime, transforming street protesters into patriotic defenders resisting Zionist aggression. As of this critical juncture amid spiraling Tehran street battles, Netanyahu's carefully calibrated public message remains strategically limited to vague statements about actively monitoring developments alongside generalized verbal support for the Iranian people's universal freedom aspirations.
Israel is carefully monitoring the events unfolding in Iran. Protests for freedom have spread throughout the country. The people of Israel, and the entire world, are in awe of the great heroism shown by the citizens of Iran. Israel strongly supports their struggle for freedom and condemns the mass slaughter of innocent civilians. We all hope that the Persian nation will soon be free from the clutches of tyranny. When that day comes, Israel and Iran will once again be faithful partners in building a future of prosperity and peace for both peoples.
Israel's defense establishment fundamentally believes the Islamic Republic proves most strategically vulnerable when deliberately left isolated to confront its own enraged population demanding regime change, rather than providing convenient external rallying cries, per CNN's national security analysis. The fresh traumatic memories of Iran's massive 200-plus ballistic missile barrage catastrophically saturating Israeli airspace during last year's devastating 12-day multi-front war remain seared into IDF strategic consciousness, fueling profound fears surrounding inevitable escalation spirals. Regional analysts tell CNN that Israel strongly prefers Washington to take the lead on any kinetic military intervention against Iranian targets, while simultaneously harboring deep reservations about absorbing Tehran's certain devastating ballistic retaliation campaigns. This uncharacteristic public silence from Israel's normally voluble leadership arrives precisely as the nation's strategically vital southern Red Sea port continues suffering devastating operational setbacks crippling national trade flows. Israel's only functioning Red Sea commercial port facility at Eilat has reportedly been pushed into its deepest operational and financial crisis throughout its modern history, threatening tens of thousands of export-dependent jobs. Port revenues essential for Israel's southern economic development have plummeted to nearly absolute zero levels due to relentless Houthi drone and anti-ship missile attacks systematically targeting commercial vessels transiting the Bab el-Mandeb Strait en route to Eilat terminals. Israeli media outlets have starkly reported that Eilat's normally bustling container operations now stand almost completely paralyzed with berths echoing empty and massive gantry cranes standing idle, according to press TV coverage. Empty container berths alongside rusting idle dock infrastructure have unfortunately become the grim daily reality haunting Eilat's waterfront, brutally symbolizing Israel's cascading Red Sea maritime access losses to Iranian-backed proxies. Houthi strikes throughout the strategic chokepoint have devastatingly demonstrated precisely how Iran's far-flung regional allies possess genuine capacity to inflict severe economic damage against Israeli national interests without requiring direct state-to-state warfare authorization from Tehran. This prolonged Red Sea shipping corridor disruption has catastrophically transformed what began as a manageable tactical security challenge into a full-blown strategic economic shockwave rippling through Israel's import-dependent manufacturing and agricultural export sectors. Should Iran ultimately unleash direct retaliation campaigns mirroring Houthi disruption tactics, then Israel could realistically confront simultaneous strategic strain materializing across multiple kinetic fronts from Gaza through Lebanon into Yemen, critical think tank reports warn.
25 करोड़ गरीब गरीबी को परास्त करके बाहर निकले।
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
The fastest news breaks.
Requested PM saying that look, you will have to speak to Putin and to Zelensky.
The biggest news makers.
The relationship with India is probably the most important bilateral relationship the US will have for the rest of this century.
The capital delivered quite an election result today.
Expert analysis.
The million-dollar question today is how to stop this dance of death.
Ground reports.
I'm standing at the crossroad of the Kumbh Mela. Behind me are more than 100 entry ghats.
Long-form interviews.
Exclusionary politics is reflected in Manipur case as well. You don't bother because this is a small state.
Deep dive into burning issues.
It's often said DRC could be the richest country in the whole world. It's because of what sits underneath.
Why exactly did the US topple the Sheikh Hasina government?
HD videos. We don't just break news, we break it down.